Hello, welcome back to my channel. I had a request to show how I made a couple of cards. The other day on Facebook, I posted these couple of cards and I used surface spray, and somebody asked me how I did it. So I told them I would make a video and show you how I did that. Excuse the blue piece of tape. I have a scrap box and that bright light shines on my glass mat, and I did not want to blind you, so I left it there. So some of the supplies I'm going to do, I need are some white cards bases. These are, let me see, these are about 4.5 by 5.5. And this one's just a little bit longer. This might be 6, 5 and 3. Yep, 6. I'm just going to use them because I'll probably cut them down. I'm going to use the aubergine surface spray and the locomotive surface spray. I'm going to use them separately because I'm still fairly new using them, but I really like them. You can kind of hear there's a ball, and inside it does say shake well before using the surface sprays. So I don't want to make you too sick, but you know, I'm going to shake. I shook them well before. You can also go like this and roll that around, but I just shake them. If you're finding you might have some clogging issues, you might want to just shake them like this and roll them back and forth. I haven't had any issues. I also have my stencils, and I have 2 stencils I haven't used yet. They're new to me, a Hidden Temple. The Hidden Temple one, which looks like this, excuse me. And this one is the Tapestry. Both of these are from Brutus, Monroe, and I have already pre-sprayed them with some pixie spray, so they're a little bit tacky. And then I have my little spray box. And I also have a piece of paper already sitting inside. You can even see how the spray box is a little sticky. I just have a cardboard box that I cut down from an order, and that's what I use to spray to keep things. So I'm just going to put the stencil down. I'm going to offset it just a little bit. And I'm going to try to get the whole. And the reason I use the pixie spray is because I'm going to get a 2-for-1 type card. So let me press this down with my towel. It's a napkin my mom made me, and I only had one, so I decided to make it in my scrap room. So it's now down and tacky. So I'm going to put this in my splat box. And we'll go with the aubergine first. I love purple. It's one of my favorite colors. And you just spritz it. So you can just spritz a little. You can spritz a lot. Okay. And there's my first card. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully peel it away. Sorry if I got off screen there, and see. So there's my first background. And I'm going to set that aside to dry because these will take a little bit to dry. Excuse me a moment. I'm going to move my splat box. And so I have overspray. I sprayed way too far over. So I'm going to set it down, and this is where I made my other cards, where I just took some extra card front bases, and I just take a piece, and I just set it on, and I rub my hands all over. And there's a little pixie spray on it, so that's why it's sticking. And I just pulled up, and I get this pattern. You could go back and forth. I'm going to make a few of these, so I'm going to grab some other white paper. I try to keep some card bases cut down for instances where I have extra spray or extra aqua pigments or watercolors or whatever I'm using, if I'm ink smooshing, and just make backgrounds out of them. And you can just lightly tap and cut off any areas you don't like. You can, just use a piece of this. So you get these fun kind of backgrounds. You can rub it. I mean, I always do a card panel because otherwise, you might get some on the other side. And see? And you just kind of play until you like it. It's one of those things that you can try to just let go and go out of your comfort zone. And then I'm going to take this and I am going to quickly run and put it in my my bathroom sink, which is right off my room. I'll be right back. The stencils wipe off fairly quickly with soap and water. I just use it. That's how I do it. There might be another way, but I just rinse them underwater a little bit. So I'm going to use the Hidden Temple one. And this one I think I'm going to try to do on the right. I'm not really going to center it, but kind of center it. Actually, it's not as centered as I thought. Let's see. Let us try and center this a little more. Okay, oops. I didn't have as much pixie spray on this one, so I'll use my cloth again just to push that down. I'm going to move my other two out of the way so they start to dry. And this time we're going to try Locomotive. And I'm going to try to spray a little closer this time so we don't have it sprayed all over. So I'm going to tip it just a bit. So I'm just going to... And same thing. Pull it out of my splat box. Oops. And then I dropped it. So we're going to see what happens. It might be fun. It might give me some texture. Happy little accidents. And look at... So you see the little dots right there. That's okay. I mean, I can cut it off. I can cover it up. I can use it. I decided, you know, I like imperfections. And then I have my stencil here. And I have very dirty fingers, so I'm going to try to wipe those off quick. Clean my desk off a little bit. And then I'm going to just take another piece of paper. And I'm just going to rub it on there. You could put a brayer on it if you wanted. But look at how fun that one turned out. Isn't that fun? Put that off to the side. We'll grab another one. So let's pull this one up, see what we get. Ooh, look at that. That's fun. But see how I have all that white? I'm just going to leave that because I have the surface inks that are in these colors, and I'm going to do some sort of sentiment, or I may just cut out some words or something, but I'm going to leave that white space there. Because sometimes when you have such a dark colors, the white space is fine, and it helps add interest. So let's see if there's any extra surface spray left on here. Doesn't look like there's a ton. It looks like I'm just going to get mostly white lights, those black lines. So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of put a quick spritz back in there. And this time we'll do just a little bit of the aubergine. We'll do just a little bit of the Locomotive. And pull it off. And we got just a little bit of a background with both of them. So I will take this paper, like I said, and there's a little bit on top, and just push it in. This one I'll do so I use both white spaces. See, like, so now I have this white space. I can just find a corner on here and try to dab some more in there and just get that, see? And now I have these fun backgrounds. I'll probably cut off that edge. I'm going to have to do a part 2 because I want these to dry, and it doesn't take too long to dry, but I don't want to dry them all with my heat tool right now. So I will put a part 2, or I will pause the video and let them dry, and then I will come back and finish them. All right. We'll see you in just a few minutes. All right, part 2. I've got everything dry. I die cut everything out or heat embossed anything. I'm just using a variety of sentiments for my stash. Some of them cut out in dies from my stash. I cut all of the panels down. They're all dry. So here's the first one. And I want to check and make sure I'm in video so I know exactly where to be done. Sorry about that. Okay, make sure I stay on screen. So I've got this cut down, and I want just a little bit of purple to show. So I just found some scraps in my stash. I have a whole drawer full of scraps in my side here. drawer by Rainbow Color, and when I need to, I try to use them up almost on every card just because I have them. So I found a purple that was close. And then I'm just going to glue it down with some liquid glue. I like liquid glue because I can kind of maneuver it around a little bit. And then I have a sentiment banner here, which I just lost. I think I'm going to pop that up with some foam tape, and I just have some, excuse my reach here, just have some little foam dots here in my stash, and I'm just going to put a few of them on. Just because I like to have a little bit of dimension sometimes on my cards. This is just going to be some basic cards for my supply, my stash, and if I decide to add some bling to them or the inside of the card when I know for sure who I'm going to send them to, I may do that, but I think today they're going to be pretty basic. So just have this little happy birthday sentiment. I'm just going to put it down. Actually, I think I'm going to put it down here. Just because, actually I'm going to raise up just a little bit. I see I have a couple little drops here or there. I'm going to just make sure my card is nice and straight. And I'm going to just put it down here in the corner. Stick some liquid glue on the back. I took some time out after, let everything dry, get my die cutting and stuff, and I had to run out and help with some mowing and stuff, and it was very hot, so back home now. And then this is just an A2 card front, landscape card. Stick that on, and I think that's all I'm going to do for now because I don't know if I'm going to make this a male or a female card. So I might add some bling, I might add some detail, but I'm pretty happy with it, so I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. All right, so that's card number 1. Card number 2, here's another background. I cut this one down a little bit shorter. It's just under 4, 3 1/4 by 5. 3 1/4 by 5 is this one. I just used some rectangle, dies to cut them down. I wanted to cut this one down a little bit more because I wanted a white border behind the purple border. And then this mat is actually 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm just going to center that on. This is that background, remember, that was after I used the leftovers that I just smashed down on top of my surface spray on my stencil. I really like how that is. I think I'm going to make this actually a portrait card. So I'm going to glue this down onto my card front. This is just another A2 size card. Those are the ones that I usually make. Sometimes if I have an extra glob of glue, I just move it over. I never know how much is too much glue, but I'd rather have my cards stick together. And it's summer, so you know there's a little bit of humidity here, I live in Iowa, so. All right, so I've got that down. So now I took a word die that I found in my stash, and I die cut it 4 times out of some white scrap cardstock, and I glued it together to give it a little bit of dimension. And then I'm just gonna take some, I like these smaller glues, like this one from Gina K, the Connect glue, to put little dots on my, hopefully you can see that, just here and there. It's a very strong adhesive, so I'm sure you've seen this before. I will tell you, I lost the little tittle for my sending, so I'm not sure what happened to it. It was here, so I'm going to leave it off. But I'm going to use my T ruler because I am horrible at straight lines, and line that up. And I'm just going to stick a good spot. I think I'm going to try to get that right about here. suppose the T-ruler's not going to make that much of a difference because it's got long and, let's see, looks not too bad there. So I'm missing, like I said, the little dots from my eye. If I come across them, if I knock them on the floor, I'll put them on later, but it's not that important. And then I just have this tiny little sentiment. This says sending, hugs and love. I white heat embossed it with the alabaster embossing powder from Brutus Monroe and the ink from Brutus Monroe, the embossing ink from Brutus Monroe. And I'm just going to stick that right below the sending. Oops, that's why I use liquid glue. Get my T-ruler in there and make sure it's nice and straight. And I just got this sending hugs and loves. And hopefully I'll find my little eye. So, just another little basic card. I might find a purple gem and put that on the eye, or grab my, actually let's just do that. I will grab a glimmer pen if I can, like a, let's see, that's the silver. Let's see if I can find the clear. Excuse me, I'm sorry if I lean into the camera here. Not finding my clear one right now. I might brush some glitter pen, here it is, on the sending just to give it some sparkle, because I like a little sparkle. Get that going off. I always get that going off on the side a little bit first. And just do it over the letters a little bit. And I dropped a little drop on the background, so instead of making it look like it was an accident, we're going to, which it was, we're going to drop some in other spots along the backdrop just to give it some sparkle. I like a little sparkle on my cards. And just maybe grab the tip too. Put some right where that dot should be. And that's good. We'll just let that dry. And I'm not sure if you can see all the sparkle in that or not, but now it's all very sparkly, which that's just enough, I think. All right, and this one I haven't decided how I wanted to finish it. So I decided I was just going to make the background. I found a blue that matched. I would just mat it, and I may save this for another project. I tend to do that a lot. I like to make extra backgrounds, and then I have a whole pile and stack of them. And then when I need a quick card, I can just grab one and use one, or if I'm not feeling something, I can just grab hold of one of these backgrounds and make a card matching it somehow. But I'm just going to use that, and then I'll probably put something here to cover up this little bit of a overspray where my stencil didn't stand up. I actually think I have an idea for a card maybe I can finish tomorrow. But that's the finishing touches on this one for tonight. It's just a background. Put that off to this side. And then last, this was my second. Remember, this is the one that I sprayed this one with the stencil. This is the one where I pressed it back down over the stencil to give it, to get like a, not really a second generation, but another print, a second print. Get some glue on there. And we'll get that centered. Once again, I think this is like a 3 by 5 is the top layer, and then just a little bit of a matted layer on top because I wanted to show some of the white along the edges of my A2 card. So for this one, I'm just going to put it back down on my card base, A2 card base, white cardstock. I want the heavy side, the heaviest part of the blue on that side. Stick that down. I really like how this center is really different. I might even put a gem there. So I just stamped out a sentiment on a piece of white cardstock that I had. Here's a little tip. If you've not seen one of my videos before, when I have some little hairs or if my cutter just leaves a little bit of fuzzes on the edge, I just use a metal fingernail file to push that all away, file it off. Had this one for years. And then I'm just going to, instead of popping this up, I'm going to just use some liquid glue. Excuse my glue is falling. I'm going to use my T-square again, just because I want to make sure everything's straight. I'm going to put this down towards the bottom. Make sure my card is straight. And then I'll make sure the wording is between the two blue. Stick that down nice and straight, and then I will just, I like to open it up when I snip it off the other side just so I can see it, get close, snip it off on that side, snip it off on this side, and there you go. Perfect. So just another little fun, quick, fast cards that I used using some surface spray from Brutus Monroe on different colors and some stencils, and how to get 2 cards for 1. So I've got multiple cards actually. I've got these 2 cards from this stencil. This one is going to be a card from this stencil, and I still have some backgrounds that I haven't even used yet from all of that process. So which one's your favorite? Let me know. Thanks for joining me, and if you'd like to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button and the like if you liked my video. Thank you. Have a great day.